Hi to all my friends and family at Ascension. I am recording this as part of our e-news segment that is titled Faithful Living in Challenging Days. I would like to subtitle my video, The Reflection of the Slightly Lost and Wandering. How are you doing this week? I have to say that this week I'm feeling a little empty and was sad about that when thinking that I had to make this video, but I am also really glad that we are doing many things to stay together as a church and connect with each other. So as much or as little as I have to say, I'm happy that we are doing this, and I'm looking forward to hearing your voices in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, I have had a harder time this week to reflect. I don't know when all the chaos of the pandemic started for you, but for me, I remember that it was March 1st. I remember leaving the last gathering that I had been at, probably for a very long time now, my nephew's first birthday party, and I got out to the car and got a text to find out that one of my first coworkers had been quarantined, and everything started to seem very real. And over the last 8 weeks since then, I think probably just like you, I've gone through a lot of emotions and energies. I think those first few weeks were filled with a ton of adrenaline. I wanted to do this right. I wanted to work hard. I wanted to support the people I work with. I wanted to support my family. I wanted to be prepared for what was coming towards us, which we didn't know. And that adrenaline carried me far away a few weeks into this pandemic and our response to it. And then I think some of that adrenaline wore off, and probably like many people, I started to feel that fear and uncertainty, and a little bit of paralysis, and fear for so many things, right? Like fear for health of our loved ones, of ourselves, fear for our neighbors, our community, the economy, for individuals who are losing their jobs, individuals who are being called to work in very unsafe situations. So many things to worry about, and how that would paralyze us. And, just the recognition that this was going to be a long marathon that we were running together. But I think day by day, we've been putting our one foot in front of each other, and getting through the days. And I don't know about you, but for me, some of these weeks have vaporized. I don't know what happened to the month of April. I don't remember it. And now I find myself in May, and we're getting some more positive news, even if we know that this is going to be a very long pandemic that we're dealing with for many, many months. We can start to feel the next steps. And that, I guess, is where I am now, and feeling a little empty as to what we have been through and what we will go through, and seeing people's responses, and being that person that hopes that with any type of trial, there's something positive that comes on the other side, and not knowing what that is, seeing a lot of negativity and wondering what we can take away from this in the long run. And just being that person that always wants to find that positive. How do we see it? How do we build it? And so I thought, it's like a picture that you kind of focus into, and I keep trying to focus back and forth, and I can't see that picture. Like, what is that takeaway? What will we see clearer? What will we find at the end of this? And I did start to think that maybe it isn't a picture that you can focus in on, but it's more like one of the things that I've been doing over these weeks. It's like a puzzle. It's like a 1,000-piece puzzle with no picture as a guide, just 1,000 pieces thrown out in front of me that I'm sorting through and trying to figure out what it will eventually be. I like puzzles. I think I'm pretty good at them. And number one takeaway at puzzles, I learned this very young from my grandma Flo in Greenville. I guess she probably had to watch me, and she had a couple of puzzles always. And that was, you start with the frames. You always start with the frames. The straight edges are always easy to find, easier to put together. And once you get the frame, all those mishmash pieces are easier to figure out and sort out. And I think for me, that frame will always be God. If we make that frame God, if we make that frame love, whatever we sort out in the middle, we know that picture will be strong. And so that's what I am trying to meditate on this week, is building that frame piece by piece, remembering that God is in this picture with us, and we will sort it out.